That's gonna leave a mark, Taylor.
That's on the speaker because I'm on the speaker. Hey, what's going on? It's the Mixed Tag Show with
Jenna and
Blue.
What's up?
How you guys doing? It's been another 2 weeks since I've spoken to you. Well, up here.
You got how you guys or me? You asking how I'm doing or
Everybody. That's been my thing this week. Is like making sure everybody's okay. How everybody feeling? There's a lot of tension in the world right now.
yes, hopefully people are practicing social distancing to the best of their ability while protesting and whatnot.
Yo, it's kind of hard to do both at this point. It's one of those necessary evils, I guess.
Right.
It's better than them going to the beach.
I went out for the first time this past weekend. It's been a few months, so took that chance, of course, social distancing and practicing sanitizing and washing hands. But it was good to get out and enjoy the weather.
You planning to do any more in the future?
My birthday's coming up, July 2nd, for those of you who don't know. So I definitely want to do a little get together with my friends in a small gathering or whatever. Order from a black owned restaurant, so maybe some soul food. And I know there's this particular wine that I'm interested in that is black owned. So, just try to support the cause. But I don't plan on really going out too much, just here and there. Can't make it a habit because there's still Corona out there,
Yeah, a lot of people just going back to regular life, like as you know it. But
it's not regular life. It's not regular life,
The numbers are going back up.
Not where we live, but where everywhere else that opened up too early. No, yeah. I don't think it's gonna go up like the rest. I think we took, especially specifically New York, took the right precautions, especially with the phasing and everything. But we'll see.
Yeah, but
anyway,
the reason why I say that is because of the whole protesting and so on and so forth. But
we'll see. I mean, well, we're going off topic and we're doing this on Zoom. But yes. So you want to get into, what is it, Backlash? Anything from the week that stood out?
That's FTR's debut was very, very interesting. Got me.
So it was a good. Yeah, that's why it was one of the reasons why I tuned into AEW, was because I was interested to see what they were going to do with that. This was like the past couple of weeks was the first time that I actually watched a show, and it's not for me, but I was excited by Young Bucks promo introducing themselves to FTR. So right. I'm excited to see where that's going.
Yeah, definitely. That was a very good bright spot during the week. Another couple of bright spots is, the homages that certain wrestlers been paying to Black Lives Matter between Keith Lee wearing the gear that says Black Lives Matter is very huge in letters, and then, the
New Day,
the showmanships that the New Day showed to those that haven't been mentioned very often in their appearance.
And just a lot of wrestlers in general using their platform. I think we did touch on it a little bit, but you notice a lot of people like the Usos, Naomi. I see Bailey posted a few places near her area that's to support Black-owned businesses. Sasha using her Cameo thing that the celebrities do for shout outs and donating proceeds. Bianca Belair and Montez Ford set up their whole a platform to just give more, I guess, knowledge, education on different things. So we just see a lot of people using their platform. Nikki Cross, the list goes on and on of how many superstars using their platform. So that's good to see.
We also see the wrestlers using their platforms for other reasons, like Jackson Ryder.
Yeah, and I remember you wanted to put something out on our social media, like, listen, we don't support that. So if
Right.
that's what you're about, unfollow us. And I saw a couple of nothing too crazy, but there was numbers dropped a little bit. It could be because of that or just whatever. But
Oh, I
you know,
didn't even pay no mind, to be honest with you. I used to
I
mind
mean,
no
it's not something
comments.
I typically, yeah,
I was
it's
like,
something that I
I
typically pay
said it,
attention to, but yeah,
yeah, and then
I just
and then
it
one
just
of the
happened to notice it,
right,
you
right.
know.
And then one of the
Um,
wrestlers kind of like backed them this week. 2 weeks later, everybody's like, "Yo, you should never. At this point, you should just stay out of it."
Yo,
Um,
at the end of the day, but it's like my thing is if that's how you feel, don't try to act like because I had to couple of people like, yo, you're posting a black screen, a black square on your profile page, but you haven't even retweeted or brought any type of awareness. So
right,
don't if that's not how you feel, that's not how you feel. Then I don't have to fuck with you. But
right.
don't do it because it's trendy. It's not like someone said Black Lives Matter isn't a trendy subject. We're still gonna be black today. We're gonna still be black tomorrow. We're still gonna be black for the rest of
Keep.
our lives. So it's not a trending topic. It's still
Right.
fucking real for us. So it's just don't do it because you're trying to fit in, you know.
Yeah, you
So
want to be
like I
part of.
said,
You want to feel like you're a part of something that you're not really supporting. Basically, what is what they're
exactly.
doing. Like you
What did
just
you think?
maybe you want some clout.
Basically, what did you think of WWE's response to it?
It was a very interesting response. I heard that Triple H's response was more passionate
Hmm.
and more deliberate. I didn't get a chance to see that. I was looking for it. I think it was like probably like the after show for In Your House. Where he made his
Hmm.
comments. I gotta still find that. I've been sucky trying to find certain things. But WWE's response just felt generic, like a lot of these businesses, to be honest with you.
No,
Like
I agree. I
you
agree.
say one thing, but your actions say another. Like so, I don't know.
No,
What did you think?
I've been saying this too in regards to like with my friends. Just the simple matter of the fact is all these companies, like we said, it's a trendy for them. It's a trendy thing. So we don't want to get flagged. I mean, flamed or anything that because we didn't say Black Lives Matter. Because then I seen all the emails and this and that and third. We stand by so and so. We're gonna throw this amount of money to this company and that company or this organization. But then it's like, that's fantastic, great. What else are you gonna do? Are you going to start hiring more black people in prominent positions, qualified people, black people? Because you'll see a lot of these companies will hire a lot of people that don't look like us, and they're not even qualified. So are you going to hire?
Right.
What are you going to do? Are you going to hire us? Are you going to put us
Yeah.
on the board? And it just goes
Like
back to with WWE. Like it's very generic. You didn't even mention we stand with Black Lives. You
right.
know, you
And it was a very safe comment.
It was a safe comment we've seen before. Stephanie McMahon has hashtag All Lives Matter, um, and then again, a lot of people say you should do all these, all this. You say all this stuff, and then want to quote Martin Luther King Jr. You know,
Right.
um, and then again, it's like, yeah, we stand by equality, this and that, and the third. But meanwhile, there was a picture floating around of the whole McMahon family with Trump. You know what I mean, at the White House.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Of
just
course, man. Yeah, you stand for
like
equality, but then you support kind of that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, for example, like speaking of another company, like what's the company that makes band-aids? Like you stand with us, and now you're gonna start making colorful band-aids. I've been in the company for like almost 100 years, right? And they are now just decided to make
now it's
color
like, oh, we're gonna
color
make
band-aids.
yeah,
Like
exactly, exactly.
so,
Which is
so
now
you play the safe role by making a clear band-aid. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now
yep.
we're gonna show different shades. Like, nah, get the fuck
You
out of
should have
here.
been
Like,
doing that a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's great that certain companies are aware and, like, for example, Nike, for example, Nike's going above and beyond, and they've always been like about
right,
equality and this and that and third. So you can tell just with certain companies it's authentic.
right.
Shout out to Serena Williams. And I don't want to go too much off topic, so we can not off topic, but don't want to take too much time. But like we seen like Serena Williams' husband, right? He
Yeah,
he resigned from his position on the board of Reddit and requested that they hire a black man, a black man or woman to take his place, and that's exactly what they did. that's how you show you use your platform and you use your leadership. Don't tell me afterwards, after a pay-per-view special, give something passion. You should have been using your platform. It should be posted right before your show starts that you Black
Right.
Lives Matter. AEW did it.
Right.
So like I said, it's really unfortunate. For all these years we've been supporting the WWE, and just time and time again, it just seems like they show their ass, right? So,
Right.
But
Yeah. Want to get to some Backlash in the meantime?
yeah, I mean,
Is
before we
anything
do
else?
that,
Anything else come out for you for the week?
I mean, what did you think in your house? Anything that, in my opinion, I thought that was the first pay. I was very happy that EO won. It was a long time coming. It's what she deserved. I thought it was the first lackluster takeover, in my opinion.
Really? I
Mm-hmm.
actually enjoyed it in your house. There was some decent matches on there. There was great storytelling between Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano. I really enjoyed. I did really enjoy the whole Velveteen and Adam Cole brawl kind of thing. Even though I would have wished that Velveteen would have came out on top, but the way looking like he might be going up the ladder, yeah, because like they did with Matt Riddle and so on and so forth. So
yeah.
other than that, I enjoyed it in your house. I don't know, like, what's the sour?
What did you?
Is it the crowd or is
No,
it
because
the
I've been telling
product?
you.
Or
No, I've been telling you for weeks that I personally have enjoyed the product. Even like I'm one of those people that a crowd is not affecting it for me personally.
right,
It's nice. It adds a little element as long as it's not overdone. Like we'll see. You discuss it for Backlash, but but that doesn't bother me. I just thought it was lackluster. I thought it was just maybe because I haven't really been into it, but I just think NXT it's a period where it's having a hard time finding its footing, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm really, really happy that EO won.
yeah.
It goes back to just what was the point of Charlotte? She didn't move. She didn't
needed.
help anyone. It didn't help just for EO to get the
She didn't
title.
get pinned.
And then she didn't even get pinned.
Like,
So it's just like, it's like,
in my opinion, it would have been a perfect spot for EO to hit the moonsault on
so
her,
on
so she was
her.
bridged up, like, for the win. Like,
Because then you
but-
have Charlotte, people who are in Charlotte's favor, and then saying, try to preach whatever to the masses, saying, oh, well, she deserves more because she's having these short reigns. Well, then don't put the title on her. Don't
short
put
range.
the title on her.
Is this a shorter range?
No, she's been having. If you're a Sasha fan, that's not
That's what I'm saying. Like, compared to
but
who?
in the grand scheme of things, a lot of, like, for example, when she won the title at Mania right before Mania, and then lost, and then she won the title off of Becky at Money in the Bank, and then Bayley won it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just now you just adding up to her numbers, but not necessarily there's quantity. I mean, quality there. It's just quantity.
But that's the point. Is adding up to her numbers. That's the idea.
And that's what that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, cool story, bro. But then for that matter, they don't need to give her a title. I had this conversation. Shout out to those wrestling girls, because they had some a tweet in regards to, like, you can make a case that Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte, and Alexa have all been overpushed. And I'm like, overpushed? Overpush would mean, in regards to Sasha, would mean that she's been multiple time champion longer than for 82 days combined, or wouldn't be. The last time she had her title match was
Hell in a Cell
before Mania, and you understand what I'm saying? So that can't. And there's a difference between being featured and overpushed. What Charlotte Flair is overpushed, and we saw reports. We saw reports by Dave Meltzer, I believe, that she's gonna be pushed until this is her division, until Becky comes back. She's showing you, and the people are showing you we do not want her. But of course, typical WWE.
Yeah, because even she didn't even Charlotte say that she wanted to take a step back. She's been,
I don't know. I don't recall her saying that. I remember not too long ago, Ric Flair wasn't happy with how her push was. And it's like, yo, for me, for example, as a Sasha fan, like even like a Bailey fan, Bailey deserved this. Because to say that Bailey's been overpushed,
yo, she deserves all of this right now.
all of this, and not only that she deserves it, but she's excelling
fitting.
at it, right?
It's fitting
So
her.
it's like, if you told me Sasha was gonna win the title and have at least a 5-6 month frame, you won't hear from me, because we finally got what we deserve. I don't mind seeing my favorite having a feud. It doesn't necessarily have to have the title. If you tell me that she's gonna have a feud and help other superstars and it goes back and forth, I'm fine with that. But when it comes to Charlotte, it seems like, okay, no, she has to be in the title picture. And if she's not in the title picture for a split second, she'll have random matches that she only wins. You saw it with Ruby Riott. We saw it with Sarah Logan right before, all this came about,
Yeah.
and it's annoying.
Yeah, it's just like it's one thing when you're over, like if you said reports that she's gonna be taking over Becky, nobody wants her at this point. Like at this point, it's way too much. Like I made a joke one time on Twitter. Somebody said, "Well, she's the queen," and I just ignored the comment because it was just like, she's not the queen. The queen is somebody that makes everybody around them better. You don't put your foot on everybody's neck, because then who are you gonna face? That's the same problem I had with Becky. When Becky went on her 1 year reign, who she had left to face. And when she finally did get a new competitor, whether it was Sasha, whether it was Shayna, whoever, and she would win, there's money left. So now,
see, but I'm not gonna compare Becky and Charlotte's reign, or just in general. Becky's situation was like, obviously the company decided to run with her or whatever. Becky didn't necessarily have the right talent to work with. Because we also, for me, like I said, Lacey Evans was a strong character, just wasn't strong in the ring. So if you don't have those people to build up, you know what I mean? What is so much that Becky can do? Natty, she's a great wrestler, but she's not the most entertaining wrestler. So that didn't go anywhere. It wasn't until Becky got to face Sasha, right, that it wound up breathing more life into her title reign. With Charlotte, it's like Becky does what she can. You know what I mean? It just seems like with Charlotte, and again, I'm not putting that all on her, because she's not the one that's going to Vince or anybody like, oh, I need to be in this match, that match, that match. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but I've said this numerous of times when it comes to Charlotte, like, I don't feel she's motivated. You know what I mean? And she'll probably disagree, and she has every right to disagree. But it should be like, yo, this is a new competitor. Let's see how I can work with this person. Not when you decide to get up is when it's someone of your caliber, like Asuka, Becky, Bailey, Sasha. It should be for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, all right, this is someone new. Let's see how I can work with this person. We saw what Sasha did with Rhea, right? When Rhea all of a sudden became white hot. It wasn't because of Rhea's all of a sudden this talent. It was because who she was facing.
Right.
That Rhea wound up getting that push, right? And it's like,
it doesn't happen with Charlotte. It doesn't happen. Like she doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Like she doesn't elevate anybody around her, and that's the only reason why I compare with Becky. I'm not saying Becky doesn't elevate, but it's like when you put them on this steamroll,
right?
That's like you just put everybody in front of them to get knocked down.
Right.
Then what? Because now that's why with Charlotte it was like a repeat. Like, all right, she went back to NXT for what? Like,
and did absolutely nothing. Right.
So,
but on that note, let's get into Backlash, because again, we don't want to waste too much time. What did you think of the pay-per-view?
It sucked. Like
it was not a good pay-per-view.
That wasn't it.
It wasn't.
That wasn't it.
Yeah.
That wasn't it. It was not it.
Nah, it wasn't. I mean, my takeaways from this, and I don't know if I've read
heard the
too
pre-show
much.
Was good.
I didn't watch the pre-show. I don't know
Nobody
if I read.
Does.
I don't know if I was reading too much into it, but with the women's tag team match, I noticed Bailey and Sasha were both wearing black, and then the Iconics were as well. I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if they were doing because of like the whole Black Lives Matter thing. So if that was the case, that was really cool.
Yeah.
That match wasn't that great, but our team won. So
it was better. It was better than what they usually do with the triple threat tag team match. They let all three women in the ring at the same time.
Right.
Because to me, when they do the 2-person in the ring in a triple threat, and you got to tag somebody from the other team, it makes no sense in concept. So I
Right.
like the idea that they kept all 3 in the ring from each team, and it was a nice little flow to it. Pay-per-view wise, altogether, I thought they put out the women's matches a little bit too fast behind each other. Like
Yeah, I know you were
203 first
you were
matches.
mentioning that. Yeah.
Like it was the women matches. Like
Yeah.
it was a card, but
Yeah, no, I agree. I honestly thought with that match, at first I thought they were gonna lose until they announced that they were gonna go to NXT. The women's tag team was gonna go to NXT, and I'm like, you know what? They're probably gonna bring Sasha and Bailey there because probably to help ratings real quick. And like
yeah,
Sasha threw shots at Charlotte. We're gonna show you how to teach teach
yeah.
the talent or whatever. Um, I mean, with the women's match, the Raw women's title match.
Good
We know. I
forecasting.
feel. Yeah, I think we're probably going to see that match again at Extreme Rules because they're probably saving Charlotte and Asuka for SummerSlam because that will be
How
the
do we need
next pay per
Charlotte
view.
versus Asuka again? Like
But you know that's where we were headed. When we
I
saw
know, but it's still
when they
like I
got
didn't get a chance to
involved
say
and all
this.
that.
I didn't get a
Yeah,
chance to say this. Like why? Why is even Naya in this picture right now? Like Asuka been watching her since NXT. Like I don't see why
listen.
other people can't get a chance. Like
From jump, we were like, how did this person and that person even get into this, number one contenders match? Like when Natalia was losing 2-3 matches back to back to back and still somehow got a. So it is continuity
isn't
wasn't
there?
there. Uh,
Like
let's
I
talk
said with
about
the match itself, it was like forecast. Like oh yeah, don't forget, the only person can win is by count out. Like how would you say that when they just go outside the ring? Now you know it's gonna be a count out. Some kind of count out is gonna happen. Like
let's talk about let's talk about the tag team match. The or I don't know what it was at this point.
from bad to worse.
God, that was.
Like
I'm just thinking about. Remember what takeover was it that Street Profits and War Raiders and I forgot whatever it was a tag team match.
was it DIY? No, it wasn't DIY.
It was a ladder match and they and Street Profits won.
The tag team titles, right?
We went from that to this, and I knew that was going to happen with Street Profits because let's keep it 100. Black guys, funny black guys. You don't know how to deal with what to do with. With New Day, it wound up working, but they wound up getting creative control. But
Right.
with Street Profits, you don't know what to do with them. So let's continue to make them a sideshow act. And since they're entertaining, it'll work. You think it is going to be lightning in the bottle like they did with what happened with New Day. And it could be, but come on, let them wrestle. Why?
Like,
And the Viking Raiders?
I was about to say, like, you putting the Viking Raiders into comedy acts now? Like, they were supposed to be a monster team that came through and had great matches like they did in NXT. They didn't have any comedy acts in NXT or on the Indies or anywhere. Like, I get it, you want to show a different side of them, but this is coming, like, this whole tag team division, like, this whole thing shows why FTR did what they did at the end of the day. Like,
That's what I said. And
Tozawa with a bunch of ninjas on a motorcycle?
like, what was the point of that? Like, yo, okay, it was, anything you can do, I can do better. Okay, we saw that, fine. But it should have led to a match. So what happens at Extreme Rules? Are they fine? Are they gonna have a stipulation match where it's actually like,
It was
or
supposed to be a match. It was supposed to be a match at Backlash. Like I'm still waiting for the match. It was like you don't have a match next, right? And it's like,
and then it's like,
what happened to the match?
and then it's like, yo, after they're finished with this, who's next? Like they haven't established they haven't established teams. And like you said, this is why FTR left because it's like, and then I see a whole lot of people trying to shit on them, talking about, oh well, it's always the boring teams. No one asks for your opinion, but it's like, granted, the Revival or FTR, whatever you want to call them, they may not have been the most entertaining in the sense of being on the mic, but if you put them in, we saw what they did against American Alpha. We saw what they did with
DIY,
Undisputed DIY. We saw what they did with Undisputed. We saw what they
AOP.
did. We saw what they just did on AEW on Dynamite. There's just certain people, certain wrestlers, teams, or whatever that is just gifted in that sense. Some people may not have it all in regards to promos and wrestling, and that's fine. But they showed you that they can put on some matches. You can't defend this. This wasn't this once cool, twice cool, 3, 4, 5 times. It's
every week.
Every week, and it's just like I think about it, and it's like, yo, so many people's dream is to be a WWE wrestler, a superstar, and then I can only imagine how many people get there and finally it's just like, this ain't it.
Yeah, like I said this past week when they did the whole "I can do better than you" whatever they had on Monday. I'm like, so are they ever gonna have a match? And all of a sudden, Viking Raiders had some random match against I don't remember who, and it came down to Street Profits coming out to help them. It's like, so are y'all like enemies or are y'all just like friends that's shooting the shit? Like,
because even in this shit, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, like the Viking Profits. Like, what? See, y'all a super group now. Is what y'all telling me. It's the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC put together. That's what y'all basically telling me.
Yeah, so that was that. Then we have Bobby Lash. What did you think of Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre?
That was a decent match. I enjoyed that match up to the Lana situation. I enjoyed it. I was pulling for Bobby. Bobby looked very strong in that match. How he should have been.
I love what they're doing with Bobby. I love what they're doing with him. That's what he should have been.
Right. I wouldn't be mad if he had won. But of course, whatever happened. This is a way. Honestly, a sidebar. If they don't let Lana go, Rusev is just furloughed. That's how I just feel about it. You can't just keep one and get rid of the other, and everything's supposed to be peaches and cream. That's just my opinion. Anyway, but yeah, I think the match was pretty good. I hope they do. That's the match I hope they continue. That's the feud I hope they continue is between those two.
Well, I read somewhere, I think this past week or the week before, that it looks like, and I don't know, I'm speculating that, but apparently that we can see Bobby become the WWE champion soon, and what they're trying to do is have Bobby versus Brock at SummerSlam. And I remember that was how it was originally supposed to be when he came back, right?
Right.
Them facing off for it. So I can see Drew and him at Extreme Rules just because Lana got involved. That's the only reason why I didn't get mad at Lana's interference, because this feud, I believe, is going to continue. And I can see Bobby taking the title off of Drew. It would have been a lengthy reign, right? It would have, because he had the title in April, so that's what, May, June, 3 months. And it doesn't, you don't have to, not everyone has to be, not everyone has to be fucking 6, 7 months. 3, 4 months is decent. And I don't think he's doing a bad job, but I think someone like Bobby does deserve it. And when you're lacking a lot of heavyweight contenders, I think, and what I think, you gotta keep it interesting. The way how physical he looks. I like that he's wearing he's not wearing trunks, but he's wearing tights.
Also, MVP is doing a lot of work into his character.
I was gonna say MVP looks good with him. I even like Lana's involvement, because she's like, okay, what happened? I thought I was his wife, So I like this. Out of all the matches, I think this was the one that I was like, you know what? This was the best match. This was the one that I was most entertained by.
Speaking of champions, are you done with this part, or you wanna?
Yeah.
Speaking of championships, this is why they want Braun as champion. I said this to you. It's gonna become a joke, because that's what they treat Braun as a joke. This 2-on-1 handicap was for what? Like, it did nothing for the title. It did nothing for Braun. It did nothing for the show in general. From Sunday, when they did all this from the van crap, you already knew what the outcome was going to be, him flipping over the van. Classic gimmick of his, right? Like, him as champion makes no sense right now.
And you can take it a step further. Like, we didn't mention about AJ winning the Intercontinental title, which was it could have been AJ or Daniel. AJ back into the heavyweight title picture. Daniel could have won the IC title and did his thing on the mid card. You know, Daniel's that type of talent that can just go back and forth.
Yeah.
I think the experiment with the mid cards is done. AJ needs to get back to, and maybe that's where he is headed to now that he's back on the blue brand. But
Right.
AJ would have been a perfect heel to Braun's face currently. Could have easily faced Braun, and this could have been a feud, and then that eventually AJ would have won. And then maybe, who knows, when Roman decides he's ready to come back, now you have Roman versus AJ, and it could be a SummerSlam feud or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if Roman's ready to come back by then. I'm just saying. But yeah, I agree. I was happy that Braun won because he should have won a long time ago when he was a monster heel. You know, but I have to agree with you that you make him look like a joke.
There is no purpose right now for that title. Who's gonna go against the Fiend?
I don't know. I just don't know what the direction is. And like you said, I never understood, and I said this to myself: handicap matches for a world title, or not even a world title, just a title in general. Like, what? Like the whole thing is like Miz and Morrison are like, and although I really like them together, I think they're funny.
Yo, that song was funny as hell. That was
They're mad funny. I think they're mad funny. But my thing is like, okay, is one going to be happy that if one winds up pinning Braun, the other one is not the champion? It's going to be the other one. So I just never understood the concept of handicap championship matches.
The only time it worked was when it's Kane and Undertaker versus Stone Cold. That's the only time it worked.
Other than that, but anyway, well, let's get into, I guess the last match would be
Before we get into that, shout out to Daniel Bryan and AJ having a monstrous match on SmackDown.
I told you, SmackDown
that match was fire.
That match was fire. I was highly entertained. SmackDown was really, really fucking good. And the thing is, I guess throw it in there real quick because, again, you know, we try to limit the amount of time we take. Did you read that Heyman has?
Yeah, I read about that.
You know what I mean? So, and then Vince, I guess, feels like, oh, let's have Bruce Pritchard be for Raw and SmackDown, and it's like, that's not your doing. It has nothing to do with your doing. The reason why ratings are consistent, like I read somewhere, Fox is on more channels than USA is. 1, 2.
All your superstars are on SmackDown.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it was marketed as the A brand now,
right?
The flagship show, like, you know. So I just don't see. And then I think I don't know who's in charge of this Street Profit shit and the Viking Raiders, but it just looks like that's all pointed directed to this man. But anyway, I'm not gonna act like I know what's going on or whatever. But
back to the greatest wrestling match ever on Backlash.
What did you think?
It was cool.
It was a good match.
The tagline killed the potential, and then they go into the whole greatest finishers ever. That kind of was like cheesy.
I didn't think so. I was just like, what the fuck, like you know?
To me, it was just like. Because it was one of those things like, well, we made it the greatest match ever, so we got a little bit of the tagline by doing certain people's finishers. Like, I was waiting for Randy Orton to do the super kick and in the thigh hit. Like,
after he threw shots at NXT.
Right, yeah. I'm waiting for that kind of situation. I'm like, yo, but other than that, the match was good. It showed that Edge still got a lot in the tank. Those two, it was old school wrestling. Like, you enjoy that kind of stuff. It's just that, again, the tagline put a lot of weight on the match. And they probably did something that was out of their element, which was cool spots. But overall, they had a great start. I didn't like the camera angles too much. And they made the cameras disappear. And, you know, I'm just that meticulous.
It was overproduced.
Right.
This I enjoyed better than their Mania match.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I thought this was better. 1, 2. However, it was overproduced with. it was cool to see not Randy, Edge get the pop, even though it was edited in there, and then you had, but he deserved that one. But then they went overboard with the chants, and you can tell there's only 12, 13 people in the crowd, so it's like, we know we know these are not people cheering. Like, you don't have to. We're not stupid. Like, they treat it like we're all 5 and naive and dumb. You didn't have to do that. I know a lot of people want crowd reaction, but you don't have to overdo it. They overdid that with the camera angle. And then the camera angle. I did like the overhead.
They got lazy with the camera angles because they started off the matches with the under the grappling and the corner ones, and then, like, according to the match, it was just regular camera angles. Like,
it's just the whole pay-per-view in general felt overproduced, and, like, again, with the fake reaction. Matter of fact, I forgot who it was that had on a Bailey shirt in the tag team match, but booing her. Does that make sense? Like, how do you have your superstars wearing specific shirts, but what? How are you booing someone?
My bad. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, my bad.
You know what I mean? So it's just like the whole, going back to that match, everything was overproduced, and I think the overreactions that they edited in there took away from the match, because it was a really good match. Not the greatest wrestling match by any means necessary, but I think it just took away.
That's probably why they kept Daniel Bryan and AJ off that card to protect that match. It's like maybe made the argument that maybe that's why the other matches wasn't like as phenomenal or great, whatever, is so that they could protect the main event. I don't know.
Maybe that's a good point, because everything just seemed very, very sloppy. It honestly, but Backlash, especially over the past few years, Backlash has been one of those filler type shows, throwaway type pay-per-view. So you would expect.
Still waiting on the tag team match.
I know you've been asking, is this gonna happen now?
Like,
I don't know.
It's supposed to be next.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna go on for this tag division. At this point, I feel like you need to unify the titles and come up with a big one new design, and just come up with one, because at this point it's just not working in regards to having 2 different tag team division. And it's been like that for years. It seems like other things are clicking, like with the women's division, and then even, mid card and this and that and the third. But
tag though.
Yeah, and then it was reported that apparently Edge got injured. I was trying to see where exactly.
Oh, they said his rib, I believe.
No, a torn tricep apparently. So he may be out for a while. So that's unfortunate, but we'll see until they give an official statement. But the pay-per-view was trash. It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
They're on Raw, right? That's a Raw situation. Mm-hmm. So where does Randy Orton go from here?
I mean, we've seen Randy. I saw a comment not too long ago in regards to the whole NXT thing. He said he's 40. He said he wants to go till he's 50. It's just probably going to be a situation where he's a part-timer, like for just, for big events or a big, competitor. We'll see Randy, but at this point, we probably won't see Randy for a month or so, but then probably build up something for SummerSlam with whomever. So.
You wouldn't want to see him and Drew down the line, maybe?
I would like to see that. I know Randy in the past has been a certain type of guy, but I've always, like, if I had to pick Randy or Cena back in the day, for me, it was always Randy. I've always enjoyed Randy. And we got to see the punt. And then a lot of people don't give Randy credit. Like, he may not be, again, a technical wrestler, but when he's on, he's on. I think I've always thought, like, when he does his RKO and other moves, I think
it's trying to be creative.
It's very fluid. It's very smooth. I've just, obviously he's older and so it's might not be as crisp, but I've always thought Randy was super, super talented.
This thing with that leapfrog, he did that leapfrog and tried to go into it. That was kind of different. I was like, oh. You still got your bunny.
It just goes back to what we said. Like, for certain people, they just need to be motivated.
Right.
When you give them a motivation or a competitor, which it honestly should be like that for everybody and for every match. But it's just with certain people, they get up for certain moments, and that was probably for this situation for Randy. So, but yeah, I don't know anything else in regards to
wrestling in general. Nothing really pop out. I'm just waiting to see what happens this week. Backlash was a melon show, as we can see. What's the next one? Extreme Rules. We got a new design with Extreme
chain
Rules.
logo. It look like this is gonna be
like the Hardy,
behind
like
Hardy. I was about to say that it looks like maybe this might be Jeff Hardy's like.
Oh, what did you think about that whole situation, Hardy and Sheamus?
I feel like it's a feud that's gonna continue. That's why Jeff lost. It was cool.
What did you like? What did you think about the segment on Friday?
Remind me, what was the segment that
he took the piss test
and then he threw it at him or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought SmackDown was a really good show. I thought from the celebration with Bayley and Sasha and then everybody interrupting that segment, the match between AJ and Daniel, I thought SmackDown was really, really, really good. Minus the Braun shit.
Yo, when did he become the Braun Express?
Yeah, I don't know. I asked this question to someone today. I'm like, what? I was like, wait, what happened to his theme song? When did the smoke and everything? Like, yeah.
Braun Express. I seen that on Sunday, on Friday. I'm like, Braun Express. This thing is a train now. The fuck?
He's a train. Yeah. So, I mean, anything that would you like to see going forward in regards to the shows?
Yes, more for the women. When does Ember Moon come back?
I don't know if I'm not saying she is. Yeah, but she had an Achilles. She tore her Achilles or ruptured her Achilles. And with Achilles is especially in the sports world, right? It's very, very hard to come back to. Fortunately enough, wrestling isn't like it's scripted. Even though obviously you can still get injured, at least you can be a little bit more protected in that sense. So who knows? And Xavier has that same injury. So we may not see them. We may see them, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm ready to see some new fresh faces. I really wish that they had put the U.S. title on the main card and not in the pre-show. That's like the tag team situation. You didn't even put the tag team titles on the line. Like that was the spot you wasted. That could have been used for the U.S. title.
Honestly, putting matches at this particular moment on the pre-show is pointless because remember at one point pay-per-views were ending at 11. Now everything is ending before 10. So you could easily there's no need for you can do a kickoff pre-show like interviews and predictions and what have you, but matches really don't need to go on during the pre-show because people miss it. So there's no point in doing that. But
yeah, I'm just ready to see some new faces at this point, to be honest. It feels like you want the same people over and over again in certain situations, and I don't know.
Right. I'm excited to see NXT this week, though.
I was about to say, did you see NXT this past week?
Yeah,
Phantasmo, and he turned into Escobar.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm interested to see what that trio does. That was very different thing.
Shout out to Drake Maverick. I don't know. Now you kind of wonder because this was that all a work or that with him getting a contract, Drake?
Yeah, that situation is just like.
I mean, I'm happy. He deserves it. He's done a really good job. I think he can be a cornerstone in that whole cruiserweight division or whatever.
Right, but it's just like everybody else that didn't get that shot to prove themselves elsewhere. Like
it seems like a lot of people are gonna come back though, because we see that Kurt Angle is signing a new deal or whatever, and I think a couple of other people. So it's just like it was a fucked up situation, but at least certain people are probably getting their jobs back. So
yeah, I mean, is that the same thing for? Was it Zack Ryder's house that they shot that whole Otis and Mandy Rose situation?
Yeah, but it was a situation. I believe they asked Chelsea, not
got it.
Zach or Matt, whatever you want to call him. But maybe
Shout
we'll see.
Tucker came back on Friday
for one split second. Look, my man Otis is wearing, not even wearing a Heavy Machinery shirt, but a Otis Loves Mandy shirt. It's that's what I'm saying with the tag team division. It's like fuck, it's like fuck tag teams and wrestling at this point. But
everybody knows. I feel like he's gonna lose that briefcase.
he has to. There's no way in hell that. Anyway, yeah.
I feel like Manny's gonna screw him over for somebody.
Could be, maybe, but I am excited to see NXT this week with Shotzi and Tegan versus Sasha and Bailey. I'm very interested to see. Like, I know we don't keep up with ratings anymore, viewership, but I'm interested to see because I know NXT has been really, really suffering if it goes up because they're gonna show up. So.
Not for nothing, AEW. I know you said AEW is not for you, but they've been putting on a decent show these past couple of weeks.
I mean, I didn't like the main event with Cody and this dude from Private Party. I don't like the pairing of Private Party and Matt Hardy. I thought that was very, very cheesy. And it's just, I always think about how AEW said, "Oh, we're not going to do backstage segments and this and that and promos and this and that. What are you doing?" Which is fine because you have to move along storyline.
Yeah, like.
But like, don't you like so many times you sat there shitting on WWE and we're gonna do this, that, and the third different.
That was
really
honestly,
haven't.
Honestly, that was mainly Tony Khan, and that was because he was into like once you get the people around you that know more about the business than you, it's kind of like you gotta have that speak sense.
I mean, Tony Khan was saying it. Cody was saying something. The Young Bucks were saying this, that, and third. Like they were really, and yeah, hype up your stuff because you want to promote your product. But again, for me, I just like the different segments that I saw. I thought it was cheesy. I don't like Jack Hager. I don't like Sammy Guevara. Like I just.
Why don't you like Sammy? Whoa.
I think Sammy's cheesy. It's not for me. It's not for me. I'm gonna keep watching.
God say nah.
It's just not for me. I thought the whole Britt Baker gimmick.
That's a rip off.
That's a rip off.
That's a rip
and then her going against Big Swole. I think Big Swole has to work on her promo skills. She's a great wrestler, but she has to work on promo. I mean, again,
it's me. I'm more. To me, me. I focus on the in ring. Like to me, in ring wise, you can say whatever you want about AEW. I enjoy the in ring work.
Yeah, but it's not about that. I don't focus on in ring. My current favorite wrestler is the greatest women's wrestler ever. She's the greatest in the ring, right?
But she also has the total package.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, and I'm not saying everyone has to have the total package, but. Like I told you, I thought that match between who did they face? FTR versus who was it again?
Butcher and the Blade.
Butcher and the Blade. That match was fire. And then when Young Bucks came and let me introduce ourselves, that I thought was fire. So don't get it twisted. If there's gonna be some like dope matches, I just feel like a lot of these gimmicks are like very like
WCW.
Like like castaways, like whatever. I like Brody Lee. I like his look. That's fire.
And that's what I was saying. I said this on Twitter. To me, I said it before this past week's episode. To me, like Kenny Omega is being too generous right now. Like that's your biggest star, and he needs to be shining right now. Like whether y'all don't want to look like his favoritisms or whatever the case may be. That's your best.
This was the man that was the best wrestler for what?
Like 2-3 years, like competitive
in a row.
It's like you know what I'm saying? Like put him in the
Young
right
Bucks.
spots. Yeah, like this is your best tech team. Forget what everybody's saying. Stop worrying about putting your own up front because at the end of the day, you guys have to make those that's gonna make shining next to you. Like you diminishing yourself and trying to give the platform to others is not gonna work.
Yeah, because you have to be
else.
Exactly. You have to bring everyone to your level. Because if you like you said, diminishing yourself or you're not using the spotlight, so then who's the fucking star that's gonna give that person a run? Going back again with the whole number for Survivor Series and how Rhea Ripley and Keith Lee all of a sudden became white hot. Why? Because your stars like Sasha and Roman gave them the main roster rub, and they were able to take the baton and run with it. That's what you have to do. Kenny has to do. Young Bucks have to do.
Cody's
I can
trying
see
to.
Cody. I was gonna say Cody's doing that with this TNT title. But
yeah, and honestly, they just need to beef up their women's division. The women's division needs a lot of help.
God, and I hate that title so much. I hate it. It looks like, and I think it's it's very sexist that they made it small like that, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying that they're trying to be sexist, but it's like, why does a women's title have to be so dainty? Like, why? When you clearly see someone like Nyla Rose, now she need a title. Like, give these girls titles. Like, that little shit, it looks like for a Barbie doll.
Yeah, I think they try to model their titles a little bit too much around like New Japan, not New Japan, but Japan style championship titles. They should have, they definitely they need to redo that title somehow, some way. I don't know how they'll pull it off right now. Maybe give it a year or two, but that title ain't it. It's not even fitting. It's not even fitting your smallest wrestlers. Like, the chick is like hanging off their hips.
It looks like a toy title. Like, but again, this is not trying to bash AEW. It's just different things that I would like to see. I know. I already know that shit thing. It's not for me. It's not me bashing. It's just certain things that I want to see. I want to. I feel like a lot of the gimmicks are rip-offs from WWE. You're trying to do a lot to be different, but in so many ways are similar, right? But and that's not to say WWE doesn't have its own shit, like with the overproducing and having 50 some, going, and just to end, I guess, the show off on this in regards to like the whole Black Lives Matter thing and just representation. You have way too many white males in their 50s, 60s. Vince is 70 something. How old is I think Heyman's 54, Triple H is 50, although Triple H gets what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I understand, people that are in the business have this already, what's the word I'm looking for? Expertise, so they know more or less, but at the end of the day though, they're not 20, they're not 30, and that's your demographic, like teenagers, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. You got to start hiring people
and teaching them
to help, to help them. And it's okay to get help, but you don't have to make it like, I know what I'm doing. If people will like put back their ego and their pride, like for example, like you see, and I'm not saying that everything like Asians need to work with Asian talent and Mexican and Hispanics need to work with, but you know what I mean? I feel like in a lot of ways it's like, what is a 54-year-old white man gonna tell young black, black tag team like the Street Profits on what to do, on how to act, right?
Right.
I think if you just have different people that help with representation, you'll get a better product. Not to say that it's been too bad, because I've basically been somewhat enjoying it, but it could be so much more.
I think that plays into the more of a role where a lot of these wrestlers that's been in the business in a while, like the New Day, MVP, they should be a little bit more hands-on with the product as opposed to hiring. Nothing against, producers, whatever the case may be. The only black producer I come off the thing in my mind is Devon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, I feel like certain things you should be getting input from New Day. You should be getting input from MVP. You should be getting input from people that's within the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's in your roster. Like, Sasha should have a say on like certain things. Like, just because they're your wrestlers and your employees doesn't mean they shouldn't have a say in other storylines. Like, yo, we need help getting this over. To be honest with you, I feel like that's probably what helps the independent scene a lot, is because a lot of them are hands-on from the wrestlers' point of view. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and that's how it used to be back in the day. That's
like,
when The Rock and Stone Cold was able to do their own promos or whatever and have their own input. And when they got scripted, exactly. And then it's like, at one point, right, with the women's division too, like, again, how is all these older white men going to tell women how to act, or in their eyes, everything is just being catty. Oh, and calling this girl a bitch, and that's not necessarily how all women act,
Yeah,
right? And then
emphasis on the B word.
right,
Make
and
sure
then
you-
it's like exactly, and then it's like then after a while they hired Dana Warrior because for a woman's perspective, and I'm like, but if she's not
She's not a wrestler.
if she's not a wrestler or no, you know what I mean? That's just showing how out of touch you are, right?
Yeah.
You know, just because she's married to a wrestler or was married to a wrestler doesn't mean that she's gonna know necessarily. You know what I mean? And just because she's a woman doesn't necessarily mean she's gonna know the struggle of a woman and be able to give you a storyline or this and that and the third. You know what I mean? So I just again, representation matters, and I would love to see more people of color, specifically Black people, be in these type of roles. But I'm not saying that has to be everyone there, but representation.
Yeah.
You know, you're not this show is not being produced for 50 and 60-year-olds anymore. The WWE universe is kids, teenagers, young adults. So then hire people like that so you can help your product.
Huh. If only, right?
If only, but that is our show.
Yeah. That's nice seeing you again.
Nice seeing you.
Social
Shout out to all my body
social
squads.
distancing.
You know, it's our weekend, or was our weekend.
Shout out to you guys. I'm gonna get her to get her background together. I'm gonna send you one next time so you can upload.
And I gotta get the little thing, the things for my lighting, because my lighting is trash.
The ring. Yo, you know they got on Amazon for like
for $50. I saw it. I have it in my my shopping cart.
Yo,
anyway, that is our show.
Check out on that.
I don't have money. On that note,
You're made of money, so
on that note, thank you for listening and watching. I am Jenna. This is
Azul.
You can follow us at the Mixed Tag Show or at our personals at
It's Simply Blue with 2 S's in the middle, or at
Miss Jenna Baby BAYBEE.
Look out for some giveaways we're gonna do this week.
Yes.
And some more content. I'm gonna bother you all day tomorrow because that's what things I want to do.
You got 1 week because then I actually go back to work. So
I do too, but you know. All right, guys. Bang, bang.
All right, bang bang.